a little bit of Impact Wrestling, that is. Let's get into Impact. And I was kind of surprised about something. You know, over the years, we've always had some type of tribute from wrestling, like WWE, even Impact Wrestling. Whenever September 11th came around, they always recorded something to show that they were committed to caring about the people, the military, and remembering 9/11. If you watch this Impact, it wasn't there. Unless I missed it, which I didn't. I saw the beginning of Impact, and I didn't really see any major tribute to it. Now, that's not a bad thing, but I'm actually quite surprised they didn't do it this year. I was very surprised, but that's just me. But let me say this before we get started in this. I gotta say this. When you look at this show, and you look at what's going with Victory Road going into Bound for Glory, again, this isn't great booking from TNA. It's 101 basic, simplified booking that at least is defined. And I'll tell you this. I'm curious to see how Victory Road goes. Of course, we're probably going to get what we expect. They're not going to really do much changes in the titles or anything. Let's make this clear. I know this. They're not going to change the titles. But, as I've always stated, it's not about what you know is going to happen. It's how they're going to make you care about it. And what I've seen here, they maybe care a little bit. And that's not something you usually get from Impact. Now, with TNA, I'm not going to tell you they've been having perfect booking. No. But I will say again, before I get started with this review, if you look at AEW and you look at WWE, WWE's booking, other than AJ Lee, if you didn't see my AJ Lee video, watch it. Because it is obvious they're doing nostalgia more than anything else. They're not really caring about making new stars in WWE. They care about making the most profit off of the old WWE. Like I said, there are people who produce wrestling, and there are people who are going to use wrestling to make money. There is a total difference between the two. And right now, even though TNA is owned by Anthem, I will at least state right now, not everyone's going to agree, that if you look at the booking in AEW, which has been very chaotic, and I know one person kept saying, you keep complaining on and on. Well, guess what? I asked you in my comments, if there's a reason why it's bad, tell me why. If you can't tell me, that means you have no answer, and that means you just want to complain yourself. I at least give you a reason why it's bad. But with them, it's chaotic. With WWE, they literally are not producing anything substantial. They're leaving the same people as they are. Here in TNA, it's not perfect, and they are still using the established people, but at least they progress the stories well enough that you can say, okay, it's not the greatest booking, but compared to the competitors, I actually have something I can look at and say, okay, that's interesting. Let's open. Moose versus AJ Francis. Now, I was not looking forward to this match, not because I hated it, was due to the fact I felt it was rushed. Because you got two former football players that could literally use their stories of being from two very, very high-profile teams. And historic teams in their own right, with the best players in it. And you could have made a story about two former football players and say, my team was better than yours, particularly when I was on it. But they didn't really go there. Yes, you're using AJ to progress what's going on with Trick Williams, and I understand that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I would have liked that you got Moose, who's going to be retiring in another couple of years. You got AJ, who is not going to be retiring not for a while yet, unless something happens, he gets injured. And you could use their former football background to really make it mean something, but you didn't go there. And let's make this clear. The match itself, surprisingly, was not trash. Now, I've never said AJ was a totally trash in the ring, because he's not. He's an average. Sometimes he can go above average, and for the last 4 months, he has been above average. And I give it to him. I still don't like Tennessee whiskey being used. I really don't like him using Tennessee whiskey much because he was fucked with for so long because of what happened when he was supposed to do that in WWE and he botched it. And I would have liked him to just put it away for a year and then show what he can do other than that, doing splashes, doing every other move, doing moonsaults, which he has done. He has done moves that you didn't expect AJ could do. And that's not saying that he did them great, but he was able to do them effectively. And I would have liked to see him not use Tennessee whiskey just for 6 months or a year would be great. And then he would go back to it and show that I can do all this and I can do Tennessee whiskey right. But he didn't. And you got Moose. And things with Moose, he has been going like this, then work with Trick, and he's like here. He's about here. I don't know where they're going to go with Moose next. Now, I don't remember correctly, and admittedly, there's been a lot that's been going on lately, so I haven't really checked a lot into wrestling. I know Moose had an injury that he was considering taking a break. That I'm sure of, not the fake injury, the actual one. He had actually been injured several weeks or a month ago at least, and he was working through it. But he seems to be alright and was doing well in the ring. Now we get Mustafa Ali coming out. And I can tell you, they're deciding to have Ali go up against Moose, which I'm not against. Ali's got to go up against someone to make himself mean something, and seeing he's doing this, yes, I'm alright with it as long as they make sure Ali looks good and Moose looks good. And that's why AJ jobbed. He had to. Now the question's going to be, what else are they going to build into making Mustafa Ali and Moose mean something? Are they going to do this at Victory Road? Or are they going to actually wait until Bound for Glory? Which I'm hoping they do. That's just me. Next, Joe Henry, when he was supposed to go up against, well, Eric Young was supposed to be his partner, his complement in the ring, but he didn't. He messed with him before he came into the ring, and then Williams went into the ring, and Williams was his opponent because, as Tom said that at the last minute it was switched from Eric Young to Williams. No problem. I wasn't expecting, well, I was not happy seeing that Eric Young was going to have a match against Joe Henry. I was hoping that would drag it to Victory Road because they are trying to make Joe into something more than what he was already. He did all the singing, all the dancing, all that made him popular. Now you got to do a little bit more with him. If you are going to eventually make him heel, because he may stay face for quite a while. But if you're going to start moving him to heel, you got to give him the right person to move heel with. And Eric Young is the right person. Now, let me give it to you like this. Seeing that Williams lost, and Eric was about to pile drive him, and Icarus stopped him, good. In fact, when he pile drived them both each twice, and laid them out, and the cleanse has started with everyone, including the Northern Armory. Yes. Thank you. Someone decided, because Icarus and Williams have not been booked correctly, because they're literally just henchmen that have no personality, it was time to let them go. Now, they could work on their own in the tag division without Eric Young, which they should, if they're signed and they're staying for a while. They have been needing to do this with them for a while. And hopefully now, after being with Eric for so long, that they will finally let them try to build a better type of character with them both. Now, that's if they both can do it. That's going to be the thing. When it comes to Icarus, I don't know. Icarus has had this like this for quite a while. And I'm like, if they're going to do something with him, they got to get rid of that little personality trait. He needs to stop doing it. Do something different with Icarus. Do something different with Williams. They both have been laid out and beaten by Eric. Yes, they're going to want revenge against him. That will be the catalyst to get them to change. But this is still very early. Hopefully they will do it in the booking. Or, this also happens in TNA, they're going to be released. Their contracts are finished and they're getting laid out and they're just going to go away for a while. If they ever come back. Don't know. Now, next, the four-way. I'm going to tell you this. Now that Trey's back, I was fine with. Seeing them seeing them all in the treehouse getting screwed up, getting high. As you say, you get high. And they're saying they're getting ready for Jake something. And you see Trey serious until he gets wasted and go, Jake who? Who's Jake? Why is he called something? Why you keep calling him that? What is his name? Is it all funny? Somewhat it was funny. I'm not going to lie, it was not bad. I'm hoping for better jokes than that. But let me give you this. The match itself was good. Having three high flyers with a power wrestler in a Jake something. I did enjoy the match. Was it the best match I've seen for a 4-way going into the X Division? No, I've seen better. But it's not meant to be great. It's meant to be good enough to make you say, okay, Jake something could easily win this. Trey just came back. He could win this. And Vince just came back. He could win this. But they chose Myron Reed. Now, I didn't expect that. I thought maybe they would do Trey or Vince. I didn't expect Myron. But the question's going to be, with Myron going to Victory Road to go up against Leon Slater, which he's standing around going like this, the question's going to be, are they going to give them any time to talk to each other? Myron, I've seen him talk in MLW. He's not a bad talker. He's not the greatest, but he's okay. And then you got Leon, who really needs people to bounce off to learn how to talk more. Now, as I said before, if you look at Leon Slater, who is the one who brought this match into existence because he went to a podcast, it's okay. But I'm going to say this clearly. Leon Slater versus Devon Evans, they're both high-flying wrestlers. Both are good, but who has more development? Who has more charisma? Leon is here. And you got Devon here. But who's got more experience? Devon is here. Leon is here. That is what we got. That is the situation we have. Because Leon has dealt with Randy Orton. He's dealt with The Undertaker. He's dealt with Uma Femi, Trick Williams. He's dealt with some of the best people that are on the lowercase roster of NXT and who have been in the main roster. Not many, but he has done it. So he has more experience with more developed wrestlers than a Leon Slater. But the charisma, I'm giving it to Leon. He just has that right now. He has more charisma in him. And right now, he needs more mic skill. That's the reason I brought it up. Devon has developed himself very well, and he can talk much better now. Leon, he has great charisma, but there are points where he feels like he needs more work with his mic skills. There is a difference. And that's what I'm hoping when he does with Myron Reed. Going into Victory Road, and then going into Bound for Glory. That's what I'm hoping for. Next. You got Jess. I didn't expect them to go down this route when it came to cast Jess with M and Heather. I didn't expect that. I thought maybe they would just do one and they're going to do the match. But no. We got two matches back to back. We got Jess versus Heather by Elegance. And I'm going to say this. When you watch the match with Jess, I said it before and I'll say it again. There is a difference between Jessie McKay and Cass. That's not meant to be a knock against Jess. She can wrestle. I know not everybody's going to like seeing her wrestle. During that match, she was a bit awkward and a little botchy. The one who's much more developed is Heather. Heather is a better wrestler than Jessie. She just is. But was she able to keep up to her? To a certain extent, yes. But she is. This was Heather. This was Jess. It showed. There was no way you can hide it. It doesn't mean that Jess didn't know what to do. She just seemed to be awkward at certain points and a little botchy at others. But when she wasn't, she worked fine as an average type of wrestler. She is character driven. Again, as I said with the inspiration, they're character driven. They're not professional wrestlers in the sense of just doing all the work in the ring. They do it outside the ring. But what happened? Heather won by cheating. And then Santino saw it, and he pretty much said, M gets in the ring now because she interfered, and go up against Cass. And then you could see a difference when Cass got into the ring with M. Now, M, she doesn't seem as developed as Cass. Now, of course, that makes sense because Shawn Spears is her husband, and he probably worked with a lot more than Jess did with him. But here was the thing that I was worried about. I'm not trying to be a horny old man. I'm not trying to be sexist. But if you remember last week, the last time they had their match, not last week, the last time they had a match, if you didn't notice that M decided that she wanted to wear a bra with fake boobs in it, that last match she had, her boobs, fake ones, were popping out of her top. And I was worried because these are being filmed back to back to back, that she did not go to the seamstress and say, can you make sure these things don't pop out again? That was my concern. And like I said, always remember, what makes a wrestler isn't just how well they go in the ring, how well they talk, their charisma, their physiques. It is also the ring attire. And when it came to M, one of the major issues she had, she's flat-chested, she's cute, she's tall, but she's a flat-chested woman. And she wanted to have more boob. And those fakies popped out the last time. Now, the question is, did she go to the seamstress and make sure that her fake boobs are sewn into her top to make sure they would not fall out again? Because that could easily happen. And that would have been hell of embarrassing, again, for her. Because women don't like to do that, particularly in wrestling. It's bad enough in normal life that their fake boob pops out of their top if they're in public or with a man they're trying to, well, swoo, if they even care about swooing. But in wrestling, appearance is very important. And it seems that her top was fine. Nothing seemed to pop out. Now, of course, she had to be adjusted like any woman, but at least it stayed in. And Cass won. Now they're going to get their opportunity at Victory Road with no DQ, and now Indy Hartwell is going to be giving that special guest referee type of vibe, because that's what Santino asked for, because guess what? The concierge, the Iceman, my boy, opened his stupid ass mouth and pissed off Santino, trying to get things a little bit skewed to the girls, and he got bit for it. You had to do it, Iceman. Why? You were my boy. You got count it, 3 freaking hot women by your side, and yes, you're going to do everything you're going to do, but why did you open your mouth in this situation? When Santino comes out, why did you go there and demand something when you know he was going to be pissed? Dumb, man. Dumb. Moving on. All right. The system versus the Nemesis. Let me give you like this. I thought that it was a good possibility that Order 4 may interfere, and they did. And due to the fact of interference, the Nemesis won that match. And it was an alright match. I didn't have a problem with it. It was fine. But now, the rematch they're going to have is next week. It's not a Victory Road. Why? Why are the Nemesis enacting the rematch clause now for next week instead of saving it for Victory Road? I don't understand. Unless something's going to happen to Victory Road oh, of course. Now I remembered. Jeff can't go to Canada. Wait. Yeah, Jeff can't go into Canada. He's still barred from leaving the country. I had forgotten. My mistake. I'm sorry. I can't remember everything. I know why they did it. They can't go to Edmonton. They just can't go. Because he is barred from ever traveling outside the country. Because of his DUIs. I totally forgot. Sorry, guys. So it was understandable this happened. I just remembered. Was it done correctly? Yes. But you know what? I would really like it for once. I know they're not going to want to do this in storyline, even though the Nemesis did it the last time, saying that Jeff can't leave the country. I would have liked that they were honest about it and say, Jeff can't leave the country, We're going to see if we can have a match for him this week. And then you could have the Nemesis pretty much say, you know what? We're enacting it now. Now, mind you, you could still do the match and still do with the system and the system losing. But it felt like they could have done that. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, how did I feel about Santana getting his ass whooped by Trick? And then they split them apart? I'm fine because of Santana talking smack. And then Trick wanted to fuck him over. Fine. There's no problem with that. Santino. Now, this is real life. Santino won 2 gold medals at the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. He won 2 gold medals. He does know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, my boy, done well, Santino. I had to say that because that's just for me. Let me give it to you like this. Did I like Matt Cardona's talk as well as Macklin's talk, Steve Macklin's talk? I don't know how you're going to make Matt Cardona mean something important when he's going up against Kazarian, at least until, that was what I was thinking, at least until what happened with Jake Something's match and the aftermath of it when Jake was walking down the hallway. Kaz talked to him and said, I am going to be international champion. I'm going to be somebody. Don't you want your name to mean something for real? Don't you want to be your full potential? Because I can see you have the full potential. I can see it. But I didn't use all power to be the best there is in this ring. It takes more than just raw strength to become the best in this business. You got potential, but you're not going to do anything at the way you're doing it. Let me help you. Pretty much trying to use him. But still, he is right. Jake has gone up against everybody. He has had a chance at the World Championship once. Or, in this case, the International Championship, even the X Division. And every time he comes up short. This could be the catalyst for him to join Kaz. Because Kaz wants to become international champion. This could be the catalyst that's going to help him do that. So Matt Cardona could be the catalyst for Jake to turn and join Kaz. And then Kaz will have someone by his side. So when he goes up against Macklin, and I will say I did like Macklin's vid pack. Now, not everyone's going to like it because he is a former soldier and he showed actual pictures when he was probably in Afghanistan or Iraq. I think Iraq back in 2005. Now, everyone's going to like it. No one's complaining, but not everybody likes seeing that. But I say it's the right thing to do because Steve Macklin still acts like a jar. He acts like a Marine. Let's make it clear. He still has the mentality of a Marine. And that's understandable because, let's make it very clear. For what I've learned, Marines, you are not made. You were born a Marine. You just are. The only thing they do in the Marine Corps is make sure you know that you are and bring that out in you. That's what they do. And seeing that there, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it is okay. But then it makes me think, I wish Deonna Purrazzo was there. Because she's not doing anything in AEW. And just in case there's someone who loves AEW, tell me, what is Deonna Purrazzo doing now? Nothing. Hell, what is Taya Valkyrie doing right now? Nothing. So I would like to see both of them leave AEW. Hell, go back to TNA. They will probably have a better time there. This sucks. And I did hear Deonna Purrazzo complaining and being frustrated that they have not booked her correctly. Last thing I'm talking about. The Gia storyline has started. We get Mentor You by Victoria Crawford. Did she overact? Hell yeah, she did. This is still Alicia Fox. She can overact. Let's make it very clear. That's just how she is. Just turned to 11. She's goofy. She likes to overact. And she overacted a lot. She calls Gia Miller, who was shocked, and call her up to the stage. And she started talking to her and said, I blame you for Tessa not being here. I blame you because it's your fault. And Gia saying, really? Not only did Tessa do this to herself, you were involved in it and you should pay for it. This is it. After Tessa attacked Gia, as I said, my question was, how are they going to book it? This is the beginning. This is how they're probably going to use it and book it. They're going to use Victoria Crawford. Let's make it very clear. Victoria's doing this every week. I don't know if it's going to be permanent, but every week before Bound for Glory, she's going to do this to piss off Gia Miller enough that she's going to bring back Tessa. And then Tessa and her are going to have a match at Bound for Glory. That's what I think is going to happen here. I know not everyone is going to be fond of it, but at this point, I think it's the wisest thing to do. And in actuality, for me personally, what I wanted for Tessa Blanchard, and I've said this for months, Tessa coming back had a lot of controversy. So much controversy, I was hoping they would book her correctly. And in the beginning, they did not. They tried to make her look dominant, but not let her go through the entire roster when she should have. It didn't make a difference. There was very few faces. Tessa went through heel and face in her first run before she became not only Knockouts champion, but world champion. She went through all the women, bad girls and good girls. And she didn't do it this time. She went through Ling Dang Lee and Marsha Slamovich. That's all she did. And legitimately, she needed more women to go through. But then, when you got Mr. Stone and Victoria Crawford showing up, and then eventually having Victoria Crawford be her partner and a friend, which, I'm going to be honest here, I think they're legitimately real friends. Because the way they acted when they went to the ring and when they were walking together, they really looked like they were enjoying what they were doing. It wasn't about the ring work. It was about actually working together, which is a good thing to see because I'm being honest here. I know enough about Victoria Crawford, Alicia Fox. She don't play nice with people that she don't like. And if she was found out to be telling, when people are saying that she was racist, you actually believe Victoria Crawford will work with her? Hell no, she wouldn't. She would not touch her. So seeing how she is, not surprised, which is great. So now they're trying to ease her in a different way, which I am glad to see. Let her work with Gia Miller. And this is also something for Gia Miller. When was the last time we saw Gia Miller in the ring? Throwback, Throwdown 3? 4? That was more than a few years ago since we last saw her in the ring. That is something I would not have a problem seeing. Build up Gia Miller getting pissed off and pissed off and pissed off by Victoria to eventually go to Santino and say, you know what, Santino, bring that heifer back. I want her in the ring. Hopefully not Victory Road. That would be a rush job. Make it for Bound for Glory. Make Tessa Blanchard, win or lose, at Bound for Glory means something. As I said, relevancy is everything. Make her relevant. Make Gia Miller relevant. This is what they need to do. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoy this Impact review. Please give me a comment below. I'm going to try my best to make some more Gump Goodness videos. There's been certain things that have been going on. My ceiling in my bathroom collapsed. Yeah. My ceiling in the bathroom collapsed. Water damage. Been dealing with that. It's just now just been corrected, so I'm okay, but peace.